Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. It's Wednesday night. Welcome to Facebook Live in the Hive. Thank you for joining me. I'll wait a few minutes and hopefully we're going to have some folks join us. Please say hello when you arrive. Hope y'all have had a great Wednesday. Hi, Gail. How are you? Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Okay. So we are expecting a lot of snow here in Central Virginia. And so I'm trying to make a list and write down all the projects and things that I want to accomplish this weekend in case we do get snowed in. So are you all doing the same? Hi, Bess. Hello, Margaret. Hi, Tina. Tina, the boys are great. And I actually have pictures for you tonight. So the boys got their very first haircut today. And they are a year and 1 month old. And so they're 2 years, excuse me. 2 years and 1 month old. So yeah, they got haircuts today. It was really fun. Hi, Kisha. It was fun for us adults, not so much for them because they really hated it. Oh, thank you for sharing, Gail. I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. We'll wait another minute and then we'll get started. I have got some really quick and easy cards for you this evening, and they don't even involve stamping. So Tina says that she's going to be getting ice and snow. Air forecast is actually calling for some of the same, Tina. Snow, but then maybe some ice on top of that, which isn't good. So Bess has made a list of all the projects that she wants to accomplish this weekend. Hi, Deborah. How are you? Thanks for being here. All right, everyone. I'm going to grab some water. Hello, Carol. Thanks for being here. I'm going to grab a bottle of water. Okay, so, oh my gosh, Margaret. Margaret's granddaughter will be 2 tomorrow. Wow, how exciting. I can't believe it. I don't know where 2 years has gone. Do you? I really don't. It goes so quickly. All right, everyone. Well, we'll start with some fun. We'll start with some pictures of the boys getting their haircuts today, and then we'll move in to all the other good things that I need to tell you about, okay? So if you are new tonight, please say hello. Even if you're not new, say hello. We want to hear from you. So welcome to Facebook Live in the Hive. My name is Tammy Cheyenne. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I am delighted that you're with me tonight, and it's good to be here. Last week I wasn't so sure I'd be here or not, but I am. It looks like next Wednesday night I may be out of town. So there's it's like 98% sure I will not be here next Wednesday night, okay? All right. Oh my gosh. So Lisa went to the grocery store. What a mistake. That's what I'm worried about, Lisa, because I need to go to the store tomorrow to get stuff before the snow. So I'm really worried about the lines. Okay, so as many of you know, our boys are 2 now, our grandsons, Ferris and Miles, and they got their first haircut today. And so I thought you might enjoy seeing them get their hair cut. I'm trying to think of the name of the place we went. It's for little kids, and I can't remember the name of it. So it'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, I'm going to show you a couple of these photos. See what you think of these, and then we'll get started with their stamping. Hi, Billy. Hi, Carol. Hello, Peggy. All right. So yes, today Ferris got his very first haircut. I'm showing you these photos from iPhoto. It was just easier than me downloading everything to the iPad. So he's not so sure about this. He's actually sitting in a little choo-choo train and he's watching TV. So, oh yeah, it was very fancy. They had all kinds of things that you could do. I wish I could think of the name of the store, but I can't. All right, and there's my daughter. She's trying to convince him this is going to be okay. And there he is again. Boy, he needs a haircut. So I'm just going to scroll through these and see what I can find. There we are again. He's watching TV and trying to be still. It's hilarious. Oh, he's about had it at this point. It's like, let me out of this train. So it was pretty funny. But they got a lot of curls cut off. But let me tell you, they have got some beautiful waves now. And they still have their curls. So this was very hard for my daughter today. She really did not want them getting haircuts. So it took a long time for her to make the decision and to go and get their haircut. So that's what we did this morning. There's Ferris. He's put his glasses on now. And you know, he's all into dinosaurs and trains and cars. So now let me find, they even had a little slide in there. So it's like a little play area where they could play, which was great because his brother had to get his hair cut too. So let me go back now and see, hang on. I might have to scroll through like this. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let me get Miles up here. Okay, this is Miles, not a happy camper at all. It was not good. There's Ferris again playing with the little play area. And there's Miles. My daughter's hanging on to him so he could get his hair cut. It was hilarious. There he is again. He's really not liking this. More trimming. We're back to Ferris and the play area. Sorry to, there's the train that I'm telling you about. So they could sit in a train or car or an airplane. And if they wanted to get their hair washed, that was in a fire truck, but we didn't do the hair washing, didn't need that. So Miles is hanging on for dear life. He is hating this so much. I'm reading y'all's comments. I know, it's so funny. There we go again. More hair cutting. Not too happy about it. We're back to fair. There we are. There's Miles still getting his haircut. So look at the curls. And that's just a small little portion. There was a ton of curls. But they still have curls. Look at this. We're getting to the end. And he's about had it. Oh no, this is really not good. So anyway, you can see how much fun we had. And then I'll show you both boys down here. Here they are here. They're playing. This is after the haircuts, okay? It was a really great hair shop. And it's in Richmond. And I cannot think of the name of it. I'm sorry. They got balloons when they were done. And the lady also gave my daughter a picture before the haircut and a picture after the haircut. So let me see if there are any other ones here. No, I think that's about it. You pretty much have seen them, but they had a good time playing together after the haircut. So there they are. But it was fun. There's Miles. He's happy. He got his haircut. It's all over. So, but it was a lot of fun. So I think we adults had more fun than they did, for sure. Okay, so there they are. Thank you for allowing me to share those. I know you all ask about them every week. Thank you so very much. It's very, very sweet and very thoughtful. So I hadn't shown pictures in a really long time. So I thought you might like that. First haircuts. And then after the first haircuts, I had to come home and get ready for tonight. And so tonight, I have got some really easy cards for you. I'm using the Love Notes 6" by 6" designer paper. And we're gonna make 6 of them. They go together really fast. So I think you're really, really gonna like them. No stamping involved at all. We're just using the designer paper. Okay, so before we move on, I did have a few announcements. I am pretty sure that I will not be here next Wednesday night, so mark that on your calendar, but I'll remind you next Wednesday what it is I'm doing, okay? Our retreat is coming up, and we are in early bird registration right now. And during early bird registration, you can sign up, you can add on extra classes. It's for in-person as well as online. I literally have 3 spots left for the in-person retreat, okay? It's going to be the weekend of March 6th through 8th, and I'm going to show you where to find it, okay? All right. So if you head over to my blog, it's www.becreativestamping.com. You can actually scroll on down here for now, and you can click this image, and it will take you to the blog post, okay, where you can read about the retreat and where you can sign up. And it gives you all the details, everything that's included. Even if you're doing the retreat at home, you get a tote bag. It's filled with $50 worth of product. It has 6 make and takes. It has optional classes if you'd like to get those. So all the retreat information is right here, along with price. After February 4th, it goes up by $10. So you definitely want to do early bird. There is no need for you to pay an additional $10 when you can get it for $10 less right now, okay? So right here, you will click here. So here we are at the top of the crafting retreat. You'll scroll down. Hey, Melissa. You'll scroll on down and it'll say click here to complete the retreat Google form. So you'll click that. And it's going to take you to the form in just a few minutes here. And that is having trouble loading. Let's try again. I think it's because, yeah, here you go. So here it is right here. It's going to reiterate all the same information that the blog post does. And then you can scroll down. You can check off, do you want to come in person with meals or in person without meals? And you can check online. The online fee does include your shipping. So we don't have to add extra money to that, okay? All right. And then here is one of the optional classes. It's called Lovely Arrangements, Cards, and Envelopes. And there are 20 of them. We're using this suite. And you'll check that you'd like to take it or thank you, but no thanks at this time. We're also going to be creating a sampler. And so once I start working on the sampler, I'll put some sneak peek pictures up for that. But we will do a 9 by 9 inch sampler, okay? And then this is where you fill out your information so that I can get in touch with you. You can tell me how you would like to pay, and then you'll click submit, okay? Now, once you click submit, I will get a notification that you want to sign up. And so allow 2 to 3 business days for me to send you an invoice, all right? And then you can go ahead and pay, all right? So getting excited about that. I actually have 2 sneak peeks. Let me tell you what we're doing for Make and Takes. And here's my catalog is right under my iPad. For the Make and Takes, we are using the Lovely and Beautiful Suite, all right? That is for the 6 Make and Takes. I supply the ink and the stamps and the dies. So this particular suite has 2 bundles, but you're not required to buy those bundles unless you want. You can use my supplies when you come to retreat. Now, if you're doing your retreat online, you're definitely going to want to have those bundles, or I can look at it and kind of tell you which one you really, really need and maybe which bundle you can probably do without, okay? So just ask me about that. So let me show you 2 sneak and peeks. I've got 2 Make and Takes already done. And this is the first one. Let me turn this way. So this is one of the first ones. We're going to be using this ephemera pack. I know Gail loves the ephemera packs, so we're going to be using that one. It has accents of gold. So that's one of the make and takes. Second make and take is right here. So 2 have already been done, and as I make them, I will give you sneak peeks of those, okay? All right, so that's what the make and takes are gonna be. Any questions regarding retreat? Again, you can get it. You can get the retreat in a box, and I can ship it to you right after retreat. For the 6 make and take cards, you will have written tutorials for that. For the sampler, if you decide to take the optional class, if you do the sampler, I'll probably do a video tutorial. And then for the lovely arrangements cards, the 20 cards, that will be probably a written tutorial, okay? Oh, I'm so glad you guys like them. Good, 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 good. Yeah, I'm really starting to like this suite. I'm still getting used to it. I still have a lot to learn about it, but it's been fun making those first 2 cards. Lori, unfortunately, I am unable to ship to Canada, and that is a part of a Stampin' Up! Policy. You can purchase the tutorials, and I can set a price for that if you want just the tutorials, but per Stampin' Up! Policy, I am not allowed to ship outside of the US, okay? But thank you so much for your interest. I really appreciate that. So I'm glad everybody's loving it. Great. Okay, let's see what else. For those of you who signed up for the January Virtual Card Club, your product, your kit is going to ship next week, okay? Now, due to the snow, I may not be able to get to the post office until Wednesday, okay? But I plan to ship the early part of next week, okay? Now, for those of you, it's too late to sign up now for Endless Love Virtual Club, but you can sign up for next month. And I'll tell you what the suite is. So far, so good. I usually wait and announce it on the 1st of the month, but I'm gonna let y'all know in case you're interested in signing up. It is going to be Easter Joy, okay? Because Easter's the first weekend in April. So we're gonna be making our spring cards in February, okay? And they're not necessarily Easter so much as they're just spring cards. So, anyway, let me see what else. Let me show you where you can find information on my virtual club. We make 8 cards. They're 4 of each design. And you receive everything to make the cards, including envelopes. You get a half package of designer paper, a package of embellishments, and a package of ribbon. Okay, and sometimes I'll vary that from month to month. So if you go back over to my blog, we are just going to scroll down and you're going to see Be Inspired Virtual Card Club. And you're going to click Sign Up Now. And that's going to explain the card club to you. By the way, when you subscribe, you get a free gift, free welcome gift. And after 6 consecutive months of doing the club, you're going to get a $25 goodie bag of Stampin' Up! Product, okay? So this will just explain everything about Virtual Club, and then you have that option of signing up. I had several newbies this month, so I'm hoping some more of you will join. For those of you not in the US, maybe you would like the tutorials. I create a resource page. It's all video tutorials, a video for each card, a video about your supply list. You do get a supply list with photos and measurements. And if I do any Facebook Lives that pertain to the suite or to that virtual club suite of the month, then I will add those Facebook Lives on your resource page. So you could have anywhere from 8 to 9 video tutorials on your resource page. So anyway, think about it. For those of you outside the US, you can certainly purchase those tutorials, okay? All right, let me see if there's anything else. I know, Melissa, it's pretty chilly in Florida, and I know Billy is in Florida. So I know y'all want it to warm up. Okay, awesome. All right, I don't see anything else. Let me see if there's anything else on my list. Oh, there is one more thing. So how many of you have heard that there is a new tool in town? I was very excited to wake up this morning and find that we are getting a new Stampin' Up tool. It's called the Stampin' Positioner, and it does replace our Stamparatus. And I am going to do a Facebook Live sneak peek with you. And you need to go ahead and put this on your phone. It's going to be this Saturday, January 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, okay? Now that is providing I receive the tool by Friday, all right? It is scheduled to arrive this Friday at my home so that I can do a live with you this Saturday at 1 p.m. So fingers crossed that that happens. It has coordinating grid paper that will work with the positioner, and it also comes with the magnets, okay? So anyway, I can't wait to share that with you, all right? Okay, all right. I'm reading some of the comments now. Oh, good. So yeah, I'll be live on Saturday while we wait for the snow, right? Okay, I think we might be ready to start. I think I've done everything on my list. All right, how many of y'all are familiar with the Love Notes DSP? It's featured in the mini. By the way, I am like wearing my mini catalog out totally because my pages are starting to fall out. But it's a really nice catalog. So I've really been, looking through it a lot. Diane, great question on the positioner. I was told there was going to be a video on how to use it, but I did not see it on the demo website today. I will look again tomorrow and Friday. And then whatever I learned from it, I'll get it on Friday evening, hopefully, fingers crossed. So when it arrives, I'll start playing with it and hopefully I'll be able to show you some different things, okay? Of course, it's gonna take all of us time to get used to the new tool, right? But that's a great question. All right, so in your mini, page 17, does this page look familiar to you? I'm gonna be focusing on I am going to be focusing on the DSP right here. All right. So we are getting ready to do that. Hang on one second. Just give me 1 second, ladies. I've got to change something here. Okay. All right. So here we go. Yes. Page 17. Okay, let's look at all the pages. We're going to look at them in my online store because I pretty much have used all the paper for tonight, or most of it. I've been kind of playing around with it. So anyway, I'm going to share it right here. All right. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna scoot on over here. There we are. This is the very first sheet. It's just showing you all the different pieces, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scan through these so that you can see all the DSP. I don't know if you've seen this in the online store or if you noticed it in the mini catalog, but I am sharing that with you now. This is what the pages look like. It's nice because you cut along those lines, and I'll show you how to do that this evening. There's another piece of the paper. Like this is one side of the paper, and then that is the opposite side of the paper. And here is another piece, and you can see right here the opposite side. This is probably my favorite piece. And then here is another piece of the paper. And here's some more of it. And then they show some cards here at the bottom, but I'll show you the cards that I have. But I wanted you to kind of get an idea of what the paper looks like. It is 6 by 6 inches, okay? So you do need to be aware of that. Okay, I think we're about ready to start. And so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cruise on over here. I need to put my laptop somewhere in case y'all have questions. I can see them. Okay. And let's see if I can get some more light in here. All right. I'm just scooting things around, y'all. Just trying to keep things straight, maybe. Not always be so crooked. Okay, so this is where we're gonna start this evening. I will be using the Stampin' trimmer quite a bit. We're gonna also be using the Real Red Baker's Twine. So for those of y'all, if you have the pack of paper, also if you did my mini ornaments at Christmas time, you've got a roll of this, okay? That's what we used, okay? Then I'm also using these gems. Now, if you're in my virtual club, this was part of your virtual card kit. So you'll have a package of those as well. And by the way, they came in today, so I'm anxious to get those to y'all, okay? All right, so back to the card. And let's see here. Have to make sense of everything. Okay, so are y'all ready? I started something else to add to the card. I love it, Diane, I love it. We've got a real red card base, okay? So we're gonna start with that. And then you're going to notice here is one of the pieces of DSP. And if you flip it over, you have this on the other side. So we're gonna work on this side right now, okay? And I already know that I wanna trim it. I want 4 inches of DSP going across and 5 1/4 inches going down, okay? So let's start with that measurement, which means now I've gotta move things out of the way for you so you can see what's going on. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim right here, okay? Because I can use these 2 items on another project, okay? And again, the line is here, and that is where you would do your cutting, okay? All right, I know I want it to be 4 inches, and this is actually measuring 4 1/4 inches. So this is what I'm gonna do, because I wanna make it even on both sides. I don't wanna cut everything off this one side. So I'm gonna trim at 4 1/8. I'm gonna get rid of that little piece. I'm gonna turn it around, and then I'm gonna trim at 4 inches. Now by doing that, by taking off this 1/8 of an inch on each side, this design is still centered. Does that make sense? I didn't want this to be lopsided or have a lot cut over here and nothing cut on this side, okay? All right, now we're going to rotate the cardstock. This is 5 1/2 inches. I need it to be 5 1/4 inches. So what I'm gonna do is, again, I'm gonna take off. Am I taking off 1/8 of an inch? Hang on, let me be sure. All right, here we go. So I want, oh yeah. So I'm actually, hang tight. That looks weird to me, but that would be right. All right, so oh, I know what it is. This is 6 inches long, okay? This is 6 inches long. I want it to be 5 1/4 inches. So this is the way I do it, okay? I am going to take 1/4 of an inch off, okay? This is just how I do it. That way, it's just easier math for me. And then I'm gonna take another 1/4 inch off. Okay, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to 5 1/4. So I'm not there yet. This is now measuring 5 1/2 inches. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to turn it around and take off another 1/8 of an inch. By the way, that puts me at 5 1/4 inches, okay? So instead of doing complicated math and subtracting fractions, I just trim a little off of each side to balance it out that way. Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, now while we're here, let's go ahead and measure this piece. Okay, and then we'll put the card together. So this piece, which by the way, this is like my favorite piece, okay? And it is a 6-inch piece, by the way. Hang on. I want to show you what it looked like before it was cut. All right, this is what it looks like. It has this on the side, and then it has this one piece, okay? I'm using like a scrap piece, whatever was left. Okay, so this needs to measure 3 inches. So that'll be easy enough. So there is some math involved in trimming the designer paper and getting it just right. All right, and math is not my strong suit. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. 4 3/4 inches. So that's where I want to be with that. And I'm going to trim that off, okay? All right. So I think I have everything I need for now. And we are going, I've got a little rhinestone back here. Hang on. Any questions for me? I hope that wasn't confusing. I'm not trying to make it confusing, trying to make it easy here. All right, so let's get our Stampin' Seal. Look at this pretty piece. You're gonna see a card with this piece as well. Then you're going to center this. Okay, this is my card base. And then we are going to be adding this. Okay, now I want to show you something that I did differently on that I'm doing differently on the second one. You will notice on this one, I have about 1/8 of an inch of real red cardstock showing. I decided I want a little more, okay? So, or maybe I don't. Let's look at this again. I may have changed my mind again. All right, so this is what I have so far, but you know what? I like this better because this is just too close. So guess what? We're gonna trim the real red cardstock, and I'll tell you what that measurement's gonna be. It is currently 3 1/4, and I'm going to trim at 3 3/8. All right. So let me show you 3 3/8. That is right there. Okay. I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to take another 1/8 off. Let's see what this is. That's 5. So now we'll do 4 7/8. Get rid of that little piece. I'm going to show you 4 7/8. There it is. Okay. I think we're going to like this better. All right. I'm pulling my sleeves up here. Yeah, I do like this better. I hope y'all do. I think it looks better. The real red was just almost touching the real red card base. You're going to also see a card with this piece right here. All right, so let's go ahead. Now, you could use your liquid glue because you'd have a little room to move that DSP around. Or you can use Stampin' Seal or whatever your favorite adhesive is. Okay? And then I'm going to tape this as well. Do you all remember we had the Christmas paper? I can't even think of the name of it right now. Do y'all remember? And we made cards with that one evening, and I really did like that a lot. All right, so that's what we have so far. And now I am looking for the rest. Okay, here we go. I found it. All right, so the You're Amazing, we're actually going to find it here, okay? So let's move this out of the way. You're going to notice that you've got 4 tags here, 2 tags here, and if you flip it over, there's even a place to write your name, all right, for creating your Valentines. So what we're going to do is we are going to trim this in half. And of course, I can trim again if I want. I'll just leave that for now. And then all of these can come apart too. So you can separate that one. We've got this one. This is the one that we're going to use. And now we got one more. All right. All right, so we're not going to be needing these. So we're going to put these away, but see what a cute tag that would be for Valentine's Day. All right, so what we need to do is we've got to trim this. Let me show you the sample. It's right here. And again, I want this at about, I'm sorry to give you the craziest measurements ever. I really am. This is 2 1/8. And if you look at it, I have cut really, really close to the hearts. So that's going to be our guide, cutting close to those hearts. Okay. And then I said 2 1/8, right? So now I am going to go to 2 1/8, and I'm going to trim that. Okay. And I was off a tad, but it's no big deal. And then let's measure this part. It's going to be 1 3/8. Again, I'm giving you crazy measurements. Let's see how wide this is anyway. Okay, it is at 1 1/2. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off 1/8 of an inch. By the way, the reason I'm doing this is because I forgot the measurement. I'm doing this is because I'm putting it on the postage die cut. 1 3/8. All right, let's see here. There's 1, there's 1 1/4, there's 1 3/8. All right. And let's make sure, yeah, we got it. Clean that up. Okay, and I think I've already taken the time to cut the white postage. Let me see. Yes. Okay. So right here, we're going to be adding this. So there were 2 die sets that I used this evening. I've used the perennial postage dies, and I think I've used this one. I've also used this one, I believe, and I've also used this one right here, which you're going to see like on one of the last cards. I also used this square right here, okay? So those were the dies that I used when creating these cards. Okay, so we're gonna pop up You're Amazing, and I am gonna be using the sides of my mini dimensionals. And then I'm gonna peel that off. Hi, Becky, welcome. All right, and then we're going to add this here. Hang on one second, I wanna make sure I got that little piece of paper off. I think it looks really cute popped up. All right, so now we're gonna add it, and I think I'm getting real close to the end of my adhesive. And we'll put it about right here. You could put it anywhere on this card. Then I am going to take my twine and I am just going to tie a bow. Let's start over here. All right. Okay. I promise I can tie a bow. All right. That a little bit smaller. All right. Okay. And sometimes, I don't know if y'all have ever noticed this, but sometimes with the twine, it likes to turn the loop on the bow. So that can kind of drive me crazy a little bit. All right, I'm gonna put my glue dot there. That is going to hold this on here. Okay, and sometimes after I position that glue dot, then I can start working with the bow or the loop of it to straighten it out. Okay, so we're gonna add some rhinestones here. And let's see, I'll use a pink one there. And I'll put another one with pink one about there. Okay, so that's our first card using this DSP. How many of you have this? I'm interested in knowing how many of you have the love notes. Okay. All right, so let's get ready for our second card. Sorry, it's coming. Here we go. And I actually mounted this on a garden green card base. All right, so there's the garden green. And so now we have got to trim this piece, which we use the opposite side on the very first card. Donna is on her third pack. Amazing. Amazing. That's awesome. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of the side of this. Get that out of our way. We can use this. We're actually going to use it right here. All right. So I'll hold on to that. And then in measuring this one, I already know that it is 5 1/4 inches. And it's 5 1/2 inches, 5 1/2 inches, and this is gonna be 4 1/4 inches. So let me measure this and see where we are. We're actually at 4 1/4, so we're good. And I know this card is 6 inches long, or this piece of DSP. So what I'm gonna do is, I just wanna take off a little bit on this side, all right? So I'm gonna take that little bit off, and then I'm gonna rotate it. And now I want to cut it at 5 1/2. So I'm at the 5 1/2 inch. Sorry, y'all could not see that. And I am going to trim there, okay? So this piece is all ready to go on the card base. Okay, and I just have to change my adhesive. Let's see. Let me run over here and get some. All right, I apologize for that. I'm gonna open this up. I won't need this back, so I'm just trimming it open. And then we're gonna add this. And while I'm doing this, by the way, I'm gonna get all this gooky adhesive out of here. If I had time, I would take an alcohol pad and I would get all that sticky stuff out of there. And I can do that later. All right, we won't take the time to do that now. And we're going to turn this around. Let's see. It's going to cover the entire card base. And again, that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay? That's your measurement for that. Then I'm using the larger perennial postage, which is this one right here. Okay? And then I want sending hugs. So again, it's back to the trimmer. And the first thing that I like to do with the pieces is just separate them. So we're gonna get rid of this one. And we're gonna go to this original, and it's 1 3/4. How about that? 1 3/4, a normal measurement. And we're at 1 3/4, so we don't need to trim there. And then we're gonna look this way. It's 2 1/2. Let's see how long this is. This is 3 inches. So we're gonna take 1/4 off the top. We're gonna take 1/4 off the bottom. And didn't I say it was 2 1/2? I always have to double check. 2 1/2. So now that is all ready. We're going to pop this up on the perennial postage die cut. Carol has just asked a question about the ladybug embellishments. Carol, they were available this afternoon, okay? So they are now available. Great question. All righty. We're gonna peel this off. And then we're gonna add it about right here, okay? Now again, we're gonna use some of this twine. This is optional. If you don't care about tying bows, if you don't like to tie bows, you don't have to do this. It's whatever you want to do. I like to just kick it up a notch. And so that's kind of why I've done this. I just felt like I wanted some embellishments on it. All right. And I think I can move this a little bit because it can be a little difficult just, you know, getting that to move in the right spot. I'm going to use a glue dot, and I'm going to put that glue dot right there, and then that knot goes right on that glue dot, and that's going to help position the bow. All right, and then we're going to pop up this too. I know you're surprised. And we can put one in the middle. And let me cut another one. And then we're ready to put this on the card. And we'll position it about right here. Then we can add a few rhinestones. Let's see. We'll go with a pink. And we'll put one there. And we can put one there. So now we have a second card. All right. So that's the first card and that's the second card, and we've used the same piece of designer paper, okay? Alrighty, so another one of our cards is this one right here. I won't be able to demonstrate this one because I'm out of this DSP. All right, let me see if I can find where it was located. Okay, so if you look here, I've already used the green flowers in the background, and I've used a lot of that paper, so I don't have this piece left. Okay, it's the green flowers on the opposite side of it. So what I did was, this was the last piece. I trimmed it 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Then I trimmed the Happy Valentine's Day. I wrapped the twine around the card, or the DSP, and then I popped the Happy Valentine's on top, and I'll measure this Happy Valentine's for you. It's 2 1/4 inches by 3/4 inches. So at least it's an easy measurement, okay? But that was another one of the cards, but I didn't have any more of this DSP left, so I couldn't do it, okay? All right, so our next card, and you're gonna see why I'm using this paper. So this is the paper, the opposite side is this, all right? So this is what we're creating next. We're going back to garden green. All right. So are y'all enjoying this? Is this a good thing to do? Do you like to see, you know, optional things that you can do, you know, with your DSP? I hope so. I love the paper. What you're going to do is you're going to trim this at 2 inches. You want it 2 inches wide. And then I need to trim this to 5 1/2 inches. So I'm trimming that off so that it will actually fit right here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll tape this one. So this is actually card, is it card 4? I think it's really card 4. We've made 3 cards, but then I showed you a sample. All right. And then again, I'm gonna add some of that twine around here. Again, certainly optional. If you don't feel like fooling with this, you don't have to. As you can see, I don't measure my twine. I just wrap it around the card. All right. And then we're gonna tie this in a bow. And then I'll straighten up my twine like this. And then I'll start making this smaller. Oh, good, Gail. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I had a lot of fun putting these cards together. It didn't take very long. Of course, no stamping involved, right? So that made it go pretty fast. Now, this piece of real red is going to be 2 5/8 of an inch by 2 5/8 of an inch, okay? So that's gonna go on. Now, the other thing that I've already done for you is I took the stylish shaped square and I cut it out. I centered it and cut it out. So it made it really easy. I didn't have any trimming to do, okay, which made it super nice. No crazy measurements. All right, so I'm gonna, yeah, it's already, see what it is on the other side? It doesn't have the words on the other side. And then I am going to position this on the diagonal. You may or may not like that. You may want it straight. And actually, if you want, you know what? We'll do this one straight so that you can see the difference in the two. Let's see. And then I'll position that right above the bow. And now you've got one that's straight. You've got one on the diagonal. So tell me what you like better. Let's see. I'm going to add this here. Then I'll add another big one. I've been adding like the pink and like strawberry slush. I'm not sure what pink this is. Pretty in pink, that's what it is. And then there's some clear gems too. So this pack of gems is a 2025 May online exclusive. It is available and it was part of this month's virtual club, okay? All right, so now we've got two different ones. So now you all can decide what you like better, what works for you. Oh, Bess likes the diagonal, so does Billy. I'm glad. I like it too. It's something different, right? All right, so our next card, again, my favorite paper right here. Okay, I'm using it again. Now you know why I don't have any left, and that is why. We're gonna be creating this card. And I made some notes about this one so I wouldn't forget how to trim it. Here is our next card. And this one's going to be on a basic white card base. All right. I know sometimes the diagonal messes me up too. All right. I want to trim about 1/4 inch off here. So I'm going to go over here and line it up on that side and trim that 1/4 inch off, okay? Then I want this to be 4 1/4 inches long. So I'm at 4 1/4 and I'm gonna trim it. Okay, and this is what I have left. And then I'm gonna rotate it and cut it at 5 1/2, and it's gonna cover the card base. All right, so let's get out that Whisper white card base if I can. All right, you wouldn't believe the number of trays I have out. I've got a tray for each card. All right, so we're gonna fold this, get a nice score line, and before we attach this to the card base, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that baker's twine around here. Alrighty. This is just how I measure my ribbon. And with twine, I don't worry so much about the waste. I do worry about it when I'm cutting ribbon. But with twine, you get so much of it anyway, and it's very inexpensive. So, you know, I just don't, you got to pick your battles, right? So, all right, I'm going to put that about there. That ought to do it. Now I'm ready. There's that hard paper again, remember? Now we're ready to add the adhesive. So once you have the idea, your card comes together very quickly. This we're going to add. It's hard for me to see this card base because it's on white grid paper. So just give me a second here to line this up. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, and now I can trim this. I'll add a glue dot in a second. I'm now going to add my basic white and another measurement. It's the same one we used on the other card. It's 2 5/8 of an inch by 2 5/8 of an inch, okay? I have done the very same thing. I've taken that stitched square and just centered it and cut it out. It just makes it so easy, and then I don't have to worry about trimming it. Look at the opposite side. It doesn't have the words on it. So you could use the opposite side without words if you want. All right, and again, you can line this up on the diagonal. You can make this straight if you want. All right, and I made that one straight for you. So we'll do one straight and one on the diagonal. And then I'm gonna put this about here. You could even pop up this white piece if you want. And then I'm gonna take some more of these embellishments and I'll put one there, put one there, and I'll put one there. All right, and so that's another card with 2 different little looks, right? Okay, and we're ready for another one. This is our next card right here. So we're branching out. We are using this piece that I've already trimmed. We're using this piece. We need this piece, and we need our card base. Okay. So I decided to die cut this piece. Let me show you the full piece. Hang on, maybe I don't have any. I don't think I have any of it. Hang on, let me look. Yep, here's a piece. Here's the piece that I'm using. Here's the opposite side of that piece. So I really like this one better. And I used this die right here. No, I didn't. I used the large one, didn't I? I used the largest one to cut that out. All right, so that's the perennial postage. That's been around a while, and it's a great one. It's a really great set. All right, let's go ahead. We are going to fold this. We're gonna add this, and with this, we're gonna pop it up instead of taping it, okay? So I'm back to the sidelines here, using some of this. When I'm done with the cards tonight, I'm gonna line them all up so that you can see them all, okay? All right. Okay. And, oh, you know what? Before we do that, guess what we need to do? We need to add, I'm gonna take this one off because we're gonna add twine. Okay, let's look at the original. I added the little bit of twine there, and I thought that one looked really cute. So, we can't tape that down yet. We're gonna wrap this around. Y'all are probably going, I'm not gonna use all that twine. It's too much work. But doesn't it make it look cute? And this might be too short. Hopefully it's not. All right, I'm gonna try and make this work. If not, we'll cut another piece. I don't know that it's long enough. Yeah, that one's not gonna be quite long enough. let's do one. I'll use that on another card. All right. The thing is, my dimensionals want to stick to my grid paper because I had pulled it off. All right, that'll work. That'll definitely work. Okay. All righty. So you know what? 1 second. I'm trying to get them on the same little track. All right, so now we're going to tie this. Donna, I'm glad you like the idea of the dies. It makes it really easy, and that way you're not doing all of that trimming. All right, we're gonna get some more dimensionals here. So has this ever happened to y'all? You put the dimensionals on and then you decide to do one more thing, and then everything just kind of sticks together. All right. And then we're gonna add this about right there. And now we're gonna talk about this because we do need to use the trimmer to trim this, okay? Now, I did write down these measurements. They're crazy measurements, by the way. I call them crazy when it's a 1/16 of an inch. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we want this. Let's see how wide it is. It's 3 inches, and we want 1 3/4. So I'm just going to take 1/4 of an inch off. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to turn it around, and hang on a second. I think I might be cutting the wrong way. Let's see. Let's measure this one. What happened to my ruler? Here we are. Okay. This needs to be 2.5 inches. Okay. So that's what we're working on, and hopefully I haven't messed this up. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off, I'm just gonna take off just a tiny bit. I wanna get to 2.5 inches, okay? Let's go to 2.5, and we can take a little more off this side, just a tiny bit. Excuse me, and then make this 2.5. Okay, so we got the 2.5 inch part. Now we want 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 is way over here. Let's go ahead and take 2.5 off, okay? And we're gonna turn it around and see if we can trim it at 1 3/4. And I think that might work. We're almost there. It's gonna take off just a tiny bit of that heart, which is okay. I'm gonna come back over here, lay it on the 1 3/4 inch. And I'm just gonna take just the tiniest bit off of that. And that should do it. So let's see if it fits. It does. So again, my method, it's not so mathematical. I trim the sides until I get the measurement that I want. It's just easier for me that way. All right, so we're gonna pop this up. This was the opposite side. It had just the suckers on it. All right, and I'll just go and put that in the middle so we can finish up that sheet. That came in very handy, didn't it? Okay, we're gonna position this about right there. And then we're gonna actually put some adhesive on the back very gently. And then we're gonna add this right here. We'll go back to our embellishments. And we put one here. We can put a little guy there. And we can put one there. All right. And if you feel more comfortable in adding a glue dot behind that knot, you can certainly do that. That's not a problem. But that is that card. What do you think? I've got one last card for you this evening. It's right here. Now, after I finish this card, I'm going to show you all of them again, okay? So stick with me. All right, this is going to be on a basic white card base. Let me grab one. And this is our last card. If y'all don't mind, I'm going to take a quick sip of water. I am so thirsty. If I can find my water, there it is. Okay. Now this time we're going to be using this piece of paper. Aha. There's that piece I was telling you about. Remember that card? There it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using this, and we're going to trim this large piece, the 6x6 piece. We're going to trim it at 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to add it to the card base. So who's ready to get their designer paper out of the package, or are you ready to purchase it? One or the other. We're now going to take this piece, and you see this right here? This is what I'm going to be trimming off right here. So I don't even have to measure. This is what I have left, and guess what? I would have had enough to create this card. I would have been able to do that. I did not realize that, but now I know. And then we want this to be 5 1/4. Okay, so 2 inches by 5 1/4. This is going to go right here. Okay. All right. So let's get that on. Let's see, adhesive, and this is a pretty blue. This is the azure blue. Okay. We're going to add this right here, just like this. Now, I actually meant to add my twine behind this DSP. I'm too late to do that. But what I can do is I can open this up. Let's see how far we can come down. We'll just wrap it around the card base. Alrighty, and we're going to tie a bow here. So if you do forget, it would have been nice to have it right under that DSP, but that didn't happen. So now we just wrap it around the front of the card base. We're going to slide that into place. We're going to move it down a little bit. Okay. Now here, we're adding this Azure Afternoon. That is the name of it. Isn't this a beautiful blue? It is measuring 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. Here is another piece right here, okay, that I took. It was right here, and I cut it out using that same square. So I used that same square for all of the cards that had a square. So it's this one right here. That was the one that I had used. And we're gonna pop this one up. Time to get out some new dimensionals, right? Time for a new pack. I'm gonna use the Be Mine side, so. Alrighty. Now again, I applied mine, I adhered it at a diagonal. You can make it straight if you want. We'll make this one straight so you can see both and see what you like, okay? And here it is straight. And then we're gonna add some gems, lots of gems. These are so fun to add. We're gonna add some itty bitties. We're gonna add 6 on this one. Now we're gonna go up here, we're gonna have some lighter pink. And I put that one there and that one there. So there is diagonal and straight, okay? All right, now, who wants to see all the cards together? I do, because I haven't looked at them grouped all together. You know, Billy, I have not used Wink of Stella all night, and I could do that with these designs. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Thank you, Billy. I need to think of that. All right, here we go. I'm gonna give you all of them. Okay, are you ready? And then I'll be taking pictures of these tomorrow. All right. And there's still one more. Let's see. There's this one right there. And this one that we did not make. All right. So there they all are. What do you think? I'm going to zoom out, see if I can zoom out some so you can see them all. I hope you've enjoyed these cards. Here, I can slide that down and you can see them all. They were fun to make. 0 stamping, but still fun to make. And I used those 2 die sets, and I used my paper trimmer to help me create them. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7, and we have 7 total, right? We do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Any questions? I'm so glad you, it's just super simple and fun and quick. Very quick. All right. I'm glad you guys like them. Okay. Yep. Fun, 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 fun. Okay. Now this Saturday, I'm going to be back at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm going to show you the brand new Stampin' Positioner. It's a Facebook Live. It'll be right here on my Be Creative Stamping Facebook page. I'll send you my newsletter to remind you, okay? I hope you'll join me. I'm going to try and show you some different things if I can learn them as well. And if UPS arrives on time, which should be on Friday, okay? Now, I've got another quick little peek for you this evening. I made a little lollipop cover right here. Do you see this cute little tag? Here is a fun little tag made from the DSP tonight. This is a heart sucker. And if I could find them, where are they? Let me find them. This is the actual heart sucker. I found these at Home Goods. You can also look at TJ Maxx or Home Sense. But these are the hearts that I found. They come 4 to a package. And if we get time, I just might show you how to make this on on Saturday. Would you like that? Would you like to learn how to make the little lollipop holder on Saturday? All right, I'm gonna scoot that down so y'all can see that under a bit more light. It has been busy. It's been a busy time. All right, don't forget about my retreat, okay? Sign up. You can come in person. You can come do the online version if you want, but please come, okay? Thanks, Diane. I'll do my best. I'll show you on Saturday. It's very quick to put together, okay? All right. Yep, there it is. There's the back. And then I used the DSP for my tags, which made it really, really fun. All right. All right, my friends, that is it. We are done. Go have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. I will see you on Saturday. Fingers crossed, UPS arrives on time. Deborah, you can sign up for my retreat. Let me show you. And by the way, Deborah, after tonight's broadcast, I will put the link for signing up, but I will also show you real quick. Okay, if you head over to my blog, becreativestamping.com, go ahead, scroll all the way to the bottom. This talks about virtual club. This talks about last week's Post-it note holder. And right here is where you're going to find information on the spring crafting retreat, okay? And you'll just fill out the Google form and then wait to hear from me with an invoice. Another way to find my blog post, here's home. You can shop here, events, join, blog. Click the blog and it will show you my blog post. Okay, I have a brand new blog and I'm happy to share that with you, and I hope you'll take time and look through there for different resources, okay? All right, my friends, I will see you this Saturday, 1 p.m. Set your phone alarm. I'm gonna set mine, okay? And hopefully I'll have a brand new tool to show you on Saturday. Take care, bye.